What is going on, everyone? Martinez TV back with the part two of the Eminem interview by Zane Lowe of Apple TV. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. This is part two.
Microphone Fiend, though. I feel like when I heard Microphone Fiend and Lyrics of Fury. When I heard Lyrics
Oh
of Fury,
God, yeah.
there's a line I want to find on Lyrics of Fury. Is only one capable breaks the unbreakable, melodies unmakeable, patent unescapable. A horn if you want the style I possess. I bless the child, the earth, the gods, and bomb the rest. Ooh.
Okay, so this shit getting funny now. So this guy, he's rapping, right? He's looking down at his probably his phone or a piece of paper, reading the lyrics off, rapping, and Marshall turns around and he actually takes the cassette of that song and he puts it in front of the camera, and this guy's looking down the whole time, so he doesn't even notice Marshall doing that. And so you got him rapping and looking down at his phone, and Marshall's just over here with the little cassette waving it in front of the camera. So that shit was funny. Let's keep going.
By the way, I think Rakim probably is still great. I haven't heard anything he's working on lately, but I guarantee you he ain't lost that
Yeah.
because that kind of don't go away. That it just doesn't.
Do you notice the lists when they come out sporadically? And it's great. It's great for fans to dive into that debate because it's energy and it's debate and it's good.
Yeah.
And you
Marshall's beard, it's gotten like so thick too. Like, damn, that shit hella thick now. Shit, look, my boy getting old.
always on the list. Do you read the list when it goes viral and it's like, all right, top 20 rappers of all time, and then the whole thing sort of becomes, it sucks the air out of the room? Do you sort of log on and check that stuff out when it's happening?
Like I don't know if it's fair to say I don't really get into those lists. Like I don't really like it doesn't really matter to me. I know for a fact how I feel. I rap to be the best rapper, but I'm not the only rapper who raps to be the best rapper. Wayne,
Mhm.
Cole, Kendrick.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Joyner Lucas. They rap to be the best rapper, and I feel like that's when you push yourself like that, that's what I feel like
Facts. Hella facts. My boy speaking facts.
inspires greatness. Yeah, but the list, man, is sometimes you almost have to go.
Lyrical competition. You know, they fucking that shit like literally empowers them even more. Like they literally like battling for the number one spot, and all those rappers he named and him, that gives them that boost, that motivation to keep going, keep putting out hard ass music. So hell yeah, that's what's up. He's letting you guys know
Era.
he likes the competition. He fucks with the competition. It definitely makes him better. Definitely makes him a better writer with the pen.
Well, let's talk about Nas for a second, because halftime's on the list, and that's a
Nas, salute.
sleeve for fans. That's on Illmatic 5 Mic Classic.
Yeah.
That's a real fans cut as well. Like when the debut album came out, halftime had been out. It was actually already in existence. People knew about it, but he included it on the final track listing, which is something because that track listing is what 10 songs in 36 minutes. It's so reduced and so essential.
Yeah.
Why did you choose halftime? And as someone who kind of I guess grew up being a fan of Nas before you were a contemporary of Nas's, what is it about him that you loved as a fan before you got to know him as the artist?
There's too many moments that he had for me to even be able to count them. One of the reasons that I picked halftime though is because there's some rhyme scheme.
So we're about halfway into the interview. It's about halfway done now, and so far, well, recapping half the interview so far, he's talked about how he has a collection of cassettes. How when he was a kid, him and his buddies used to switch off, and with their little bit of money they had, they would save it up and buy cassettes, the latest songs going on at that time at that time frame, and they would switch off. And then he also talked about how he discovered the very first Run DMC music video, how he discovered it. How he was at his aunt's, and he was just chilling in the living room, and TV was on, and just out of nowhere, I guess, popped out, the Run DMC music video. And he was talking about how that was his first time ever seeing that music video, first time ever seen Run DMC, I guess, any music video of them. And he said after he saw that, he got hooked. And then he talked about his uncle Ronnie, how he used to bring cassette tapes, and they listened to him. And now he's been talking a lot about other rappers, rappers before his time, that came before him. And he's just giving a bunch of shout outs, a bunch of salutes, letting you guys know why he got into the rap game, what got him started. Then he talked a little bit about competition with the rappers that are right now, how all of them battle to try to get that number one spot. Wayne, Joyner, Cole, Kendrick, all of them. He dropped a couple names, and now here we are right here. He's talking about Nas. So let's keep going and listening. It's interesting so far. I like it.
That most rappers to this day probably can't do. And that's one of the things that has made Nas so great over his career. Like when he because when I'm blasting her,
he's calling Nas a great. He's calling one of the goats. I know he fuck with Nas, so another salute. So let's keep going.
That's my word. I'll be slaying them fast, doing this, that, and the third. But chill past the entree and let's lay. I back up at John Jay and hit a matinee. He was rhyming entire sentence. And I'm like, what the is this?
This fool Zane just like laughing. He's like chuckling, just shaking his head like, yeah, like this fool's rapping in front of me and shit. Like, hell yeah, like. And this fool Eminem does it with ease. He fucking, man, this fool memorizes people's lines like nothing. Like, he does this a lot. He like fucking raps to to other people that he admires. Other rappers that inspired him. He remembers their lines. So like he just be rapping about them. Like this isn't the first time the first interview I hear him like rapping other people's lines. Like this fool does definitely memorize that shit up here. Like this fool, he just did fucking Nas a couple lyrics off Nas.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Illmatic, I can't even. I mean, everybody knows that is a classic, essential album.
Yeah.
I don't know where you place that in hip hop, but it's got to be at the top. I think that I've been inspired by so many rappers. It taught me different flow patterns, different schemes you could do, and then when you start finding your own, that you.
Imagine if he said Snoop Dogg. Yeah, right.
Like haven't been done yet. That's when it becomes fun.
By the way, Pete Davidson did a good job, man. You got to hand it to him. He flipped that.
Yeah, man.
If Zane Lowe has balls, he will bring up the Lil Pump issue. Will we hear it? Will we hear it? Will he bring it up? Let's find out.
Yeah, I remember they sent me the lyrics to it, and I was reading them on paper, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna be that good. And then the way when he said it, like I was like, holy, like he said it so good that he sold every single thing. And you can't. First of all, everybody's raps look terrible on paper, right? Because you don't necessarily know, unless you're a rapper yourself, you don't necessarily know where. Even if you are, you don't know where they're gonna hit the beat at, what pocket they're gonna choose. Yeah, and he was in an ill pocket. Like he was kind of going, like, and he'd go a little faster and then he kind of slow down, like, so you could catch what he just said.
And he had your intensity as well. I love that you were looking at it through your fingers just like the rest of us were, because it's like that song is it's become this iconic moment for you, but it's like millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people love that song. And so when you're going to bring it into a comedy environment, it's such a powerful story. You're like, oh no, Pete, no, what are you doing? But he kept your intensity. That's the thing.
Yeah, his delivery was for sure really on point because.
Marshall's still talking about Zane. Zane and Marshall still, on the subject. Now he's talking about his delivery. And that boy got delivery. That boy got everything. That motherfucker cold. Let's keep going.
It was it was not what I expected when I saw it. I was like, man, this is actually really good. The whole thing was great.
Let me put something to you. That wall behind you, right? That's an exercise in manifestation. Like every one of those cassettes that you wanted to own, that you knew you already loved.
I think this guy Zane Lowe's like really fucking like appreciates the fucking cassette collection in the back. Like there's a lot of fucking cassettes back there. Like I don't even have one. Not even one cassette do I have. And this fool Eminem got like fucking hundreds back there. This fool fucking crazy. He said it took him like, I think he said 2 years took him to collect all that. Or maybe he said 3. He said like 2 or 3 years to collect all those cassettes. And that's Marshall. So like this fool got millions and millions of dollars. Imagine how long it would take one of us to get that collection. If it took him 2 years, how long would it take us? The average Joe.
You didn't have the money to own them. That just continued to feed your ambition and your desire to make your voice heard, right? To add value, to be a part of it. And then you go through that list and you've met a lot of people on that walk.
Zane Lowe got kind of like a accent. I hear a little accent at the, where is he from? Does anyone know? He sounds like he might be British or something like that. If you guys know, let me know.
Now that we're in fan mode, and it's just you and me talking as fans of music, do you have moments where it just privately it just blows your mind? Like I know how proud you are of that LL Cool J poster. It just blows your mind that you've met so many people on that wall of tapes behind you that you were just a fan of.
Yeah, I mean, LL, like, I met him at a Foot Locker.
What?
Yeah, when I was doing my shopping for the first album cover, for the first album cover, the Slim Shady LP.
Yeah.
And he was just standing in there by himself, right? And he walks up to this woman that worked for Dre at the time, and they knew each other. So they were like...
He's talking about he met LL Cool J at a Foot Locker way back, Slim Shady LP, so 1999, and we're in 2020, 1999 to 2020. 21 years ago, he met LL at a Foot Locker. Wow.
What up? And I'm saying I don't even know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, how do I not play myself in front of one of my favorite rappers of all time? I gotta figure this out. And he quoted...
That would be me thinking with this guy right here. That would be me thinking that with Eminem. Crazy.
One of my lyrics to, I forgot what song it was. Oh, he said, how can I be white? I don't even exist. Wow. And I was like, what the So Dre had played him that. But I just like, it blew my mind. Like that was I think Tretch is actually the first rapper that I ever met, like famous rapper in person.
And he's one.
Let's stop right there and we'll finish this interview up with a part 3 coming up. So I'll see you guys in a bit.